What's up, guys? It's Teddy. In this lesson, we're gonna go over the life cycle of an animal. The four main stages in the life cycle of an animal are the birth stage, the growth stage, the reproduction stage, and the death stage. Now for the birth stage, this is the start of life for an animal as its own individual separate being. It's no longer residing in its mother's body. One fact about birth that you should be proud of as a human is that it's actually exceptionally rare to be born in live birth, where you come out of your parent's womb. Actually, 97% of all animals in the animal kingdom give birth by laying an egg. So be proud, you're rare and unique. After birth, a couple different things can happen depending on the type of animal. Sometimes both parents will raise the baby, sometimes only one will. And then in other cases, both parents actually abandon the baby and the baby has to fend for themselves. One interesting example of this is the cuckoo bird actually lays her eggs in a different bird's nest, so she doesn't have to raise them. Being abandoned by your parents isn't even the worst case for an animal. For baby tiger sharks, actually before they're even born, they have to fend off their own siblings from eating them.
Fish are friends, not food.
Except stinking dolphins.
And my unborn infant sibling.
The next stage is the growth stage. This is where the animal grows to maturity or to adulthood. This can happen very fast, sometimes only a day for certain insects, or very slow, like us. It takes us at least 13 to 18 years to grow to maturity. And during this time, animals can change very little. Maybe they're like us and they just get larger, but others, they can go over rapid changes of their body. When an animal goes under a massive change of its body, like a frog going from a tadpole to an adult frog, for example, this is called metamorphosis. It happens for types of amphibians as well as types of insects.
Or a me.
The third stage is called the reproduction stage, and this is the most important life stage for all animals because it's where the species produces offspring, and it's kind of the goal for all species. Produce offspring so your species can keep on living in the future. And there's two types. There's sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. The first type of reproduction, sexual reproduction, which is by far the most common type of reproduction as well, is where offspring is produced by combining the genetic information from two individuals of different types or sexes. Think a male and a female human producing a baby. That is an example of sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, on the other hand, deals with only one set of genetic information, not two. So pretty much the organism is making a direct copy of itself, and that's what the offspring becomes. This isn't common for animals. It doesn't really happen in animals, but it happens a lot in single cellular organisms. Now the final stage in the life cycle of an animal is the death stage. It's what happens after the animal reaches its culminating point of reproducing. After it's able to produce offspring, there's not too much of a reason for it to stay alive in terms of a species standpoint, so it will die. And this can happen quickly, right after reproduction, or it can happen a lot of time afterwards. Different animals have different lifespans. But don't be too sad, because all death in the animal kingdom promotes the creation of new life. For example, if a fish dies in the ocean,
Maybe, I don't know, got out of the way. Matt Hardy crashed and burned.
Hey, look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
even if it's not eaten and is used to help another animal grow, it'll decompose and settle on the ocean floor, and then organisms living on the ocean floor can use the nutrients from the dead fish's body to help survive. Alright, that is all for this lesson. I hope you now understand the 4 stages for the life cycle of an animal: the birth stage, the growth stage, the reproduction stage, and the death stage.